UFC Fight Night, Magny versus Prates. Here's my experience.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
To kick it off, I'll give this card a solid 8 out of 10. The action inside the octagon was actually pretty good. Out of 11 fights, 8 of them were finishes. So you can't really get mad at that many finishes on the card, even though this card did lack some star power. It did have some upcoming prospects that I think will become stars. And this is just like their first little taste of it. But with that being said, let's get into this first fight of the night I want to talk about. The first fight now I want to talk about is Mr. Tresean Gore versus Antonio Chikoli. Tresean Gore pretty much did what he did in his last fight. Standing guillotine choke on somebody that's taller than him. Kind of weird to see, but it works out. Tresean Gore is on a 2-fight finishing streak right now. Who do you guys want to see him fight next? After that fight, we had Damon Blackshear facing Cody Standman. Damon Blackshear showed that he was very, very well-rounded in this fight. Standing up, looked fantastic. I mean, he got the submission win, but he easily could have finished him with just ground and pound. That knee that he gave to Cody Standman probably puts out a lot of bantamweights. Cody Standman just a very, very tough dude. Who do you want to see Damon Blackshear face next? He is one of the few fighters ever in the UFC history to pull off a twister. The last fight on the prelims I'm going to talk about, Mr. Charles Radtke versus Matthew Schmellensberger. Probably said his last name wrong, but getting somebody out of there under a minute is absolutely insane, which Charlie Radtke did pretty easily, which kind of makes you call into question how good is Carlos Prates actually, as he was able to make Charles Radtke looked pretty easy also. First fight of the main card, we had a Dana White Contender Series alum, Mr. Mansour Abdul-Malik versus Dusko Turtovic. Probably said his last name wrong. It is what it is. That man Mansour looked like an absolute bona fide potential superstar that night. First round finish, very, very dominant ground and pound. Dusko did everything he could. He held onto the leg for about a minute, minute and a half, trying to survive the onslaught that was Mansour. It was just too much for Dusko, and Mansour was able to get the first round finish. I feel like the sky is the limit for Mansour going into his UFC future. What do you guys think about his performance? Let me know. Following that fight, we had Julian Robertson taking on Luna Pinheiro. Julian Robertson looked pretty good in that fight, I'm gonna be honest. She looked pretty good in the fight. First round, obviously she won. Second round, I'm gonna be honest, I thought she was gassing a little bit. But third round, she came out dominated, put my worries to rest, and she absolutely controlled Pinheiro the entirety of the third round and beat her up pretty much. Julian Robertson is now on a 3-fight win streak. Who do you want to see her fight next? Let me know. In the upset of the night, we had Mr. Gaston Bolaños versus Cortavious Ramius. Gaston Bolaños didn't care that he came in the underdog. He came in and absolutely dominated that fight. And we seen one of the rare uses of the 12-6 elbow used in fantastic style, as he was able to land it while he was on his back and pretty much forced Cortavious to try to get up and scramble. Fantastic fight for him. Not too much from Cortavious. Cortavious did get into the UFC off of Dana White Contender Series also, but he got in off of a decision. And going to decision in the first UFC fight isn't that good of a look, especially gassing in the third round the way he did. He looked absolutely exhausted towards the end of that fight. What do you guys think about this fight? Did y'all expect this? Let me know. In the co-main event, we had UFC newcomer Rene Renner versus Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald Meerschaert won 2 out of the 3 rounds, in my opinion. First round he won, even though he did get dropped towards the end of the round. I mean, the round pretty much leading into that was domination from Gerald Meerschaert. Second round, Rene Renner was getting dominated, in my opinion, again. In the third round, Rene Renner was able to lock in the arm triangle choke and get the victory, which is all that matters. He caught out Khamzat Chimaev, and I do not think Khamzat Chimaev is going to oblige that fight, because I think Khamzat Chimaev would absolutely blitz through this man, Rene Renner. Rene Renner to come into the UFC being a former 2-division champion, I did not see that, in my opinion. I didn't think he looked that fantastic, especially against somebody like Gerald Meerschaert. Like he said, elite people finish him. Khamzat Chimaev absolutely starts him within like 30 seconds of the fight starting. I didn't expect that, but I didn't expect him to go to war with Gerald Meerschaert. What do you guys think about the fight? Let me know down below. In the main event of the night, we have one of Fighting Nerd's best and most brightest prospects. We have Carlos Prates taking on Neil Magny. Carlos Prates just needed 1 round in this fight to get Neil Magny out of there, which is very, very hard to do. Carlos Prates looked fantastic the entire time. Hurt him, let him get up, was able to finish him with a shot to the temple that just completely shut Neil Magny off. Neil Magny was face down for a little bit before they got him upright again. Carlos Prates did call out JDM and Jeff Neal in his post-fight interview. I think both of those fights are on the table. I feel like both of those fights would be very, very exciting. What do you guys think about the card as a whole? What would you rate it? What was your favorite fight? What was your least favorite fight? Let me know down below. Like always, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Be good people. Peace.